Welcome back. Let's talk about one of the most important elements in any relationship: communication. It's often said that communication is the key to any successful relationship, but how often do we truly communicate? Most of the time, we think we're communicating, but we're actually just exchanging words. Real communication goes beyond just talking. It's about understanding, listening, and being present for one another. How many times have you had a conversation with someone, and at the end, you felt unheard or misunderstood? That's because effective communication requires a willingness to listen with empathy and an openness to understanding the other person's perspective. In many relationships, the real issue isn't that we don't talk, it's that we don't listen. We all come with our own experiences, our own baggage, and our own emotions. And when we're not careful, we listen to respond, not to understand. True communication requires emotional intelligence. It's about recognizing not just the words being spoken, but the feelings behind those words. It's about understanding why someone feels the way they do and being willing to validate their emotions, even if you don't agree with them. When we don't listen, when we're more focused on our own responses, our own egos, misunderstandings happen. And misunderstandings breed resentment, confusion, and emotional distance. That's why communication isn't just important, it's essential. Think of communication like a bridge. The words you say are the foundation, but the real connection, the real understanding, comes from being open, vulnerable, and patient. When you build this bridge, you allow the other person to feel seen and heard. But communication isn't always easy. It can be difficult, especially in tense moments. We've all had those heated arguments where it feels like no one is listening, right? In those moments, it's crucial to take a step back and ask yourself, what's the intention behind my words? Are you trying to prove a point? Are you trying to win the argument? Or are you trying to understand each other and grow together? The way you approach communication can make all the difference. And sometimes, the most important thing in communication isn't even the words. It's the silence between them. It's the space you create for the other person to express their feelings and thoughts without judgment. Have you ever experienced a moment when silence actually spoke louder than words? That's when the most meaningful connections happen, when you just sit with someone and listen. Not because you have to, but because you genuinely care. Think of communication like a bridge. The words you say are the foundation, but the real connection, the real understanding, comes from being open, vulnerable, and patient. And yes, I understand, sometimes it feels like we don't have the right words, or we're afraid of how the other person might react. But let me tell you this, if you approach communication with the intention of understanding, you create a safe space for honesty, vulnerability, and growth. It's important to remember that no one is perfect, and no relationship is perfect. We all make mistakes. But what matters most is how we communicate through those mistakes, how we show up for each other, and how we work together to find common ground. So, the next time you find yourself in a challenging conversation, take a moment. Breathe. Listen deeply. Speak with intention. And remember, communication is the key that opens the door to deeper understanding and stronger connections. Because in the end, love and understanding aren't about having the perfect words to say, they're about having the courage to say them, and the willingness to listen, truly listen, to each other.